So, first of all, this is a talk in English, so please don't focus on my bad English for this moment. I got company, and he's our country manager for the DACH and UK market right now. So we are developing the new ways into the new market UK. And last week I had a quick chat with Nick. Hello, Nick. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
About productivity hacks. So the question, Nick, is what is your specific process when you get a lead? Like what steps does it lead through? And what are your productivity hacks for this whole channel?
Well, good question there, Marv. So hopefully my Canadian accent will bring us through this talk today.
Hopefully.
To your question, though, so when I'm receiving inbound leads, there's a couple checks that I run through with every lead that I get. First, in terms of who the person is, I like to look at LinkedIn as a first point in the process to look at a couple things. So one of the things that's important to me is I like to see where they're based. So as a part of my process, with every lead, you want to respond as quickly as possible. But it's important to me that I respond in a personalized manner. So in terms of productivity hacks, one of the things that I currently use is in terms of templating and formatting my approach and response to inbound leads so that I can quickly react once a lead comes in with a somewhat standardized approach.
Okay.
And then format that and personalize that accordingly to the leads so that my response is as quick as possible.
Okay, so you said standardized, or it's like a little sheet you had prepared for this, right? But do you focus on the lead specifically? Like when the lead is, for example, it's a sales leader instead of a marketing leader, does the first mail that you send change?
No, yeah, great question. So it all depends on which channel this lead came through in and how I approach it. So if it's a lead that came in from our website, direct, they filled out a lead form, they were interested in terms of a test account or some pricing. It's a much different approach than if I generated a lead myself and brought them in through my networks. There's a completely different approach there, and it's all about how I react based on the channel at which they came in through.
Okay, so it's no direct call if someone asks you about a test account, for example, or a free trial. You just send the email first and then dial.
Yeah, exactly. Great question. Yeah, so typically I like to start because if I just ring the phone first, while phone is often, if you have a number, the easiest way to get to hold of somebody.
Fair enough.
Oftentimes you won't catch people at the right time. Or people are often, although they've already filled out a form or they knowingly reached out to your website, they get surprised and caught up in the moment sometimes when their phone just rings. People aren't expecting
Especially in the home office.
Especially, home office right now. So it's exactly this. So what I like to do first is I like to drop an email and sort of tier my approach so they see me across multiple channels. So what I'll do is the first thing I'll do as soon as I see a lead, I'll quickly personalize that comes in through our website, quickly personalize it via information from LinkedIn as well as some prospect information there. Then I'll use a templated approach to send out an initial outreach with some personalization. Then I'll ring them up, try and see if I can catch them. If not, then I'll just do a touch point on their LinkedIn page.
Okay.
And it's a kind of a tri-pronged approach where I'm reaching out to the lead. Even though they reached out to you, that can easily get lost. So what I try to do is I try to incorporate a productivity hack via Calendly. Or a Calendly service like Chili Piper, as well as popular ones. Also, Microsoft's offering a similar service included in their packaging, where prospects can quickly and easily book a meeting and directly into my calendar.
Okay.
And then get that email invite automatically sent out.
Okay. How do they know what kind of appointment it is in the first step?
Great question. So depending on the type of lead this is, if we're talking about inbound leads in this case here, what I typically do is I have a standardized set link for an intro call, which I do with all my prospects.
Okay.
And what I do is if they need an additional time, I offer them the ability to go into my signature and click my calendar link where they can book additional time or longer meetings based on their needs.
Okay.
But I always direct them firstly to one standardized intro call.
So Nick, when you go to the further step, like the step where you do the intro call, you call it, right? And then you have several prospects in the call as well. So they all like talking through another and talking too much actually, and a whole story. How do you get the key facts, like literally the key facts of this call in one wrap up? Do you have a productivity hack for this?
Yeah, great. So, I mean, I typically have a couple of standardized questions which I'm asking, and I'm trying to address in my call, so I can get down to the relevant information to understand the prospect, but also for me to then help the prospect later on. And a lot's coming out in one call. It's often spat out pretty quickly at you. So how do I get it all down? I don't take the traditional approach of pen and paper. I've tried that in the past, and things get lost. You end up with a stack of papers or a notebook that's filled with notes. And
same point here.
you can't keep track of everything. So what I like to do, and it's one of the productivity hacks that I use, is I utilize a tool that's built in for Windows called Sticky Notes.
Okay.
And instead of having to do pen and paper notes, then transfer after the call, I like to mention to the prospect that I'll be taking notes while I'm talking with them, so that I can really capture their full scenario. And I'll type as I talk with these people into sticky notes on Windows. Okay. And I'll have all the information on my desktop already there. And then I can very easily and quickly copy and paste into my CRM after, and then take 5 seconds to summarize my notes, instead of having to do a transfer from pen and paper, which I've done, and maybe 3, 4, 5 timesing the work that I would need to do.
Yeah, that's a lot faster, because that's awesome. Because we had I had this tablet over here. Where I put my notes in, and I had a tool that's called Keynotes, right? And beforehand, like when I'm in a project, that's fine, right? You can write it down, you can copy it, send it to your inbox, and so on and so forth. But directly in a call, it's something different. And especially every salesman knows this, right? So you get into a sales call, and during the time you write it down, and afterwards it's like, oh yeah, I got a great appointment here, I got a great chat here, but I need to write it down in the CRM and copy it again, because this is really a productivity hack, like to do it directly on the desktop, right? I first of all, before you told me that, I was actually using Word, like typically Word pages, and typed it in. But yeah, great tip there.
It's brilliant. Even on top of this, I mean, there's other solutions nowadays out there which more and more international companies are incorporating into their tech stack. So sometimes even maybe taking this a step further, which some companies are using. They're using companies like Gong.io to record calls and then generate a transcription of the call, so a voice to text. And then reps can then actually take the literal spoken words of their call and then filter that down really quick, take out some key sections that maybe you missed and you didn't actually take down in your own notes. So there's a lot of interesting solutions out there which can actually assist and make this process easier as well.
Everyone learns from the UK country manager. Yeah.